Let's take a look at some of the new features in Update 8 of ClassMon. We've added some new print options for your learning stories. So now when you click on Reports, Learning, you'll see two options for your learning stories. First one is to print the images last, so it's below the text, and the other is to print the images first. So let's take a look. So images last. Now, a couple of things you'll note about the previews. First thing is that we've made it so that if there's an odd number of images, so 1, 3, or 5 images, that odd image will print larger than the other images. Okay, so if we look at that in a print preview, it looks a lot better on the page when it's centered and larger. So if you're only using one image, you'll get just one big image. 3 will look like that, and 5 will be 2 next to each other with 1 large underneath. The other thing you'll notice about the print preview for all the reports generated by ClassMon is that we've now added the format bar up the top of the report preview. This allows you to edit some of your text. If you're finding, say you have the issue that text is flowing over to a second page and it's only happening by a line or two, you can simply highlight text and play with the fonts in the print preview. So you can adjust that or maybe delete some text from the print preview and reduce the size of that page so it may fit on one page. Now just be aware, when you do this, it doesn't change the actual data in ClassMon. It only adjusts the text and the page layout for this print. So we'll quickly take a look at the images first layout. Pretty much the same, except the text is now underneath the images. So if we do a print preview, we have a slightly different style. Now with both of these print options, you'll also have the option in your actual observation. If we click on an observation and go to our Learning Story tab, you now see two print buttons here. So one is for images last and the other is for images first. You'll find two new reports in the data section, Reports Data. We've added a name badge and a health report. So first the name badge. It's just a briefer version of the ID card, which just has the child's first name and some details about your service with the child's photo. So again, that will fold into a conference badge. And the other report is the health report. Just prints a list that includes all the details or all the text from the health section. So this text here feeds directly from the health tab for each child's record. We've also adjusted the font size. If we look at the name cards, we've made the third name column a larger font size so that you'll have more uses for those name tags. Some other reports we've updated are the progress report, which now shows related outcomes as well as the primary outcome. And we've also updated the class observation overview. And this overview now looks a little different. It has a large number in the center, which is the number of observations for that particular learning element, and then a date, which is the last observation made. So a very handy report for keeping track of how many observations you've made for each learning element. We've made a couple of updates in the observation screens. Now, if you enter any text under Comments, Learning Story, or Planning Notes fields, these comments will automatically be saved. So if I add some new text here, and I accidentally move away from that observation, maybe to another child, when I come back to that observation, that text has been saved. Now, one thing with this is that you must save the observation once for the autosave to work. Otherwise, there's nowhere for that text to be saved. So you have to create one of these observation buttons by hitting the Save Next button once. And then once you've done that, anything you enter on any of these tabs will be auto-saved. The next thing we've done in the observation screens is the comment bank. We've made it so that it doesn't overwrite all the text in the field. Now I know a lot of users will be very happy with this update for those that do use the comment bank. Now when you click the comment bank and select a comment and hit apply, it just inserts the comment where your cursor was. So you can now insert comments wherever you like within your text, and they will not overwrite the existing text. Another user feature request that we've added is the ability to set up templates for some of these tabs. So for example, if we look at the Learning Story tab, if you have a particular layout that you use for your learning stories where you use particular headings, such as I have here, you can set these headings up under Settings, School Center, and you'll notice a page 3 tab here where you can put text in that will automatically feed through to these fields. So you can set up text for the comment field, the learning story field, and the planning notes field. Now, just when you do this, I was just having to play with this myself, just make sure that if you do underline and bold, then hit enter, maybe twice, and make sure you turn the bold and underline off. And even drag from here down to here, and make sure the bold and underline is turned off, because otherwise it would get quite annoying if you were typing your text on the screen under there and it was always in bold and underlined. So you turn it off in the template, and then that will apply. And now when you make a new observation, we'll do an observation for care, empathy and respect, you automatically get this comment as the heading, or this heading text, and then under here your text is just in your standard font. If we do our learning story, again, we can type away in our standard font under each of the headings. So those headings automatically come in, and we can add to those or edit those or delete those if we don't want them. I'll finish up with a couple of little updates, but quite important as well. The first one is when you generate your planner report, when you set your dates, you'll notice now that we've automatically set the date to just show the previous week. So we backdate the from date from 7 days before up until the current date. So that if you need to change that, you can put that to any date. But from the feedback we've had, the most common planning report is for the current week. So we've automatically set those dates. And the last thing is you'll notice now that when you do a backup of ClassMon, the automatic name is now the same as your login name. So rather than being called CMN backup as it was before, we have auto-named the file to your login name. So that makes it easier for you to identify your backup files, especially if you're working in a center where there's other users. We hope you enjoy Update 8. Please give us any feedback and we'll keep the updates coming.